Hi, this is Katura with BlueNotary, and today we're going to be looking at our in-session tools. So we're in a session right now, so let's go across the top and see what tools we have as we are notarizing. Here on the left, we have this little 4-box panel, and when we click this, we can see all the pages in our document and we can scroll through them. Here, we can select multiple pieces of text that we've added, and we can move them around if we desire. Next, we can make the document smaller or bigger here. And here we can have a more bird's eye view of our document when we click this button. Now we also have tools over here that we might want to use, which is a pen. We can draw like this. We can add an image if we want. We can add a note to this so we can annotate things that we might need to remember. We can also add a text box if we want to. And we can use this tool for a line, an arrow, or a rectangle on our document. Here, we can move the order of pages if we need to with this tool, and we can save. And here we can search the document for words that we're looking for. So, for example, if I type landlord, here we see that the word landlord is highlighted now that it's been found in the document. So, now that we've gone through the items on the top that we can use during our session, let's look at this sidebar. So these are some new functions that make it really easy to get things done in our session. Here, this document tool shows us which documents are in the session. So right now, this is just a simple lease agreement. So here, we have the option to reorder documents if we have more than one, a list of the documents if we have more than one, and we can add or remove documents to this session in this document icon here. Here we have our toolbox. Now this is where we're going to be most of the time when we're in a session. We can see what documents are in a session. We can sync the session as well. We can do no session sync the screen so that we are looking at things at the same time as our signer. We can also sync the screen and cursor so our signer can follow along with us as we're moving about the document. We can also select the user, the people who are in the session. So here we have the primary signer, myself, and an additional signer. These here are our drag and drop tools, or the tools we can use with our hotkeys. So for example, if I want to put the name of the primary signer, I can put it here. I can drag and drop. And these 6 dots here just indicate that these are draggable options in the session. I can also use the hotkeys next to these drag and drop options if I don't want to drag and drop. So for example, signatures are S, the hotkey of S. So I would press S and then the signer's signature box would come up. So this is where you're going to be a lot of the time as you're signing and putting in elements for your signers. Now here on the right, we also have our checklist, things that we want to make sure we do before we complete the session. So as we go through the session, we want to make sure we're confirming the signer identity, confirm correct documents is uploaded, refer to the script for live calls, and this will help us keep on track so that we know we've done everything we're supposed to do before we complete the session. Here, we also have our chat with our session participants. So we can go here and start speaking to them if we need to in the chat box. And we'll be able to see that running conversation. And we also have the great functionality of knowing when they've read it, because this check will light up and let us know that the people in the session have seen the message. We also have here the call script. So it's right here in the right hand panel. When our signers do show up, we want to welcome them and acknowledge them. When adding signatures, we have another script. So we have all the scripts here. And this makes it really easy to communicate with your signers because everything you need to say is right here in the call script. So these are the new functions that we have really easy right here in our right sidebar. And some of the things can still be found here in our menu. So here in our menu, we can look at our participant ID and status. We can look at our primary signer and additional signers, their IDs, when they have added them. We can also add, remove signers, add, remove witnesses, add, remove observers, and we can go to same device authentication. If we have multiple participants, signers, we can change it so that they can use one device if they are in the same place together to authenticate their identities. We can add a blank page here as well. We can modify documents as well. We can change our notarization type. So for our journal, if we want to make sure we are recording correctly what type of notarization this is, we can change it if we want to, and then press save, and that will add to our journal. Here, we can also add notes that we want to, things that may be special we might want to remember after the session is over. We can also do signer scheduling. Maybe one signer is going to meet at one time and another signer is going to meet at another time. We can change the times for different people if we are doing 2 different times if they cannot meet at the same time. We can reset our signature consent, which is helpful when a signer, maybe they don't like their signature or maybe they're signing for someone else. They have the right to do so. This will allow them to sign as themselves and use a signature for another person. We also have the option to reschedule a session. Maybe we get to the session and realize that we can't complete it right now. We can reschedule it right from the session. And we can also turn our hotkeys on and off. Maybe we want to use our keyboard to use the quick add by pressing like S for signature and the box pops up. Maybe that's not something we want. We can turn that functionality off, and then we will have to drag and drop from our right hand panel. So we have a lot of functions here, and we recommend that you go into the session simulator or create a journal entry for a session just so you can get the feel of using all these different tools to make each one of your signings quick and easy for you every time. So I hope that helped. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow our channel for more remote online notarization tips.